Hello, brothers and sisters. I'm Ed Hill, International President of the IBEW. I'm addressing this message at every member of our brotherhood who lives and votes in Illinois. You have a very important decision to make in the election for governor, and the decision is yours to make. I'm simply asking you to think about some things before you cast your ballot this fall. I get as frustrated with elected officials as any of you. Sometimes I wish we could do a spine implant on some of them. The fact is that there's no politician who's perfect in our eyes or who's going to do the right thing all the time. Governor Pat Quinn has certainly made his share of mistakes and not been on our side all the time. But if you're thinking that voting for Bruce Rauner is the answer, I ask you to think again. Why? The answer can be found if you take a look at some of our Midwestern neighbors, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Missouri. Some of those states elected Republican governors or Republican-dominated legislatures. These people were swept in largely on a wave of frustration over some of President Obama's mistakes in his first 2 years in office. And some talked a good game on working people's issues. The reality is very different. In every one of those states, right-to-work legislation has been introduced. And in the case of Michigan and Indiana, it passed. Efforts to weaken collective bargaining for public employees or silence the political voices of working people have been made and in some cases succeeded. Instead of creating jobs and building economic progress, these so-called leaders have promoted an agenda that favors those already well off. And tough luck to the rest of us. Remember the chaos in Wisconsin in Scott Walker's first year in office? Well, some state senators actually came to Illinois to block the vote on Walker's radical agenda. If Illinois elects a governor in the Walker mode, there will be no safe refuge for pro-worker allies anywhere in the Midwest. Ask yourself, do you want your state to become another Wisconsin, full of anger and bitterness with low job growth? That's exactly what you'll get with Bruce Rauner. He doesn't even talk a good game, just brags about how he strongly opposes collective bargaining, minimum wage, project labor agreements, and anything else that gives working men and women a break. With Governor Quinn, we have a better shot at a level playing field. You know, he's been a strong advocate of the trades. Under his leadership, there are more working project labor agreements in Illinois than any other state. After disagreement over building of power plants, Governor Quinn invited us to meet and listen to our concerns, and more important, acted on them. Do you think we would get that kind of hearing if Bruce Rauner was the governor? And make no mistake about it, the Democratic majorities in the Illinois House and Senate can't protect you completely. The governor wields tremendous power in making appointments and deciding on budget priorities and deciding which laws get vigorous enforcement. Don't for a minute think this election doesn't make much difference to your working life. Your vote will help determine if Illinois remains a good place to work and to live, or whether you fall into the political warfare and the backward politics of your neighboring states. It's your call.